Okay, boom, here we go. It's finally happening. It's finally happening. We're here. I remember when we were doing Shawshank, which I only got that job because of Gino.
And your talent.
No, mostly Gino. And and you were like, I'm working on this thing. These are some clips for you. You want to see it? I was like, fuck yes. When this comes out, when it's getting ready to go, come on the podcast. We'll talk about it. And now it's here. And, of course, you brought Joe along with you as well, who directed this thing. So it's very exciting. Thank you guys for being here.
Oh, thank you for having us on. I mean, and Joe O'Donnell is a fantastic everything, multi-hyphenate, multi-hat talented person, and I'm lucky that I got her even involved in my project in the first place.
I mean, that's a huge compliment coming from someone that's in everything.
God damn right. Gino, Matthew, you may not know this, but Gino is one of the hardest working guys around. He's
I could tell.
Like doing something constantly. Yeah.
It sounds like I'm bragging when I say this. Last year I did 23 film projects, a commercial, 5 plays, and a bunch of different murder mystery shows.
And nobody does that.
Yeah.
Nobody works as much as Gino.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
I just don't respect my own time as much as I should.
Hey, but do you enjoy it?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, there you
I'd
go.
much rather be doing this than anything else. It's just so much fun being on set and working with people and collaborating with such amazing people, talented people. Especially, I never thought I'll ever be doing this in my life. 3.5 years ago, I met a girl at a bar by an accident. She says she makes movies, and then next thing you know, I'm fucking making them myself too.
There you go. So was that your true start into film in general, or did you always have an interest in it, and then that just kind of spiked the reality of, hey, I could do this as well?
Well, no, I always loved movies. So going back to when I was a kid, I played a lot of video games. So much so that my mom would take my Xbox or PlayStation away, toss it in the trash, and yell at me. Then we had a deal. It was like, okay, well, if I'm not going to play video games, I need something else to fill my time with. So I would rent movies from Blockbuster, back when you had to go to fucking Blockbuster. And I'll rent 2 or 3 movies at a time, and we would, maybe go to 3-4 times a week, and I would watch anything and everything that came out. And I've always loved movies. I remember, but an extremely goofy movie was like the one on top of my list.
Is that the road trip one, or is that the one where Max is in college?
The one who was in college.
Okay, that's a classic.
Yeah. But no, I always loved films, and then I remember I watched The Matrix from like 1 million times, and I kept re-renting it every other week. So much so that I burnt out the Blockbuster tape.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I used to be able to bend over backwards really good, like I was playing Limbo. Like I used to be able to grab my ankles going backwards.
Oh my god.
I was skinny once in my life.
So you used to just do like the Matrix?
I just thought it was the coolest shit in the world. It's like, look what I can do.
There's still people that feel that way. Full transparency. And then throwing it over to you, Joe. So, obviously I know you jumped in on this project, it sounds like. So where did your kind of, and I guess a little bit more about yourself too.
If I can jump in, I know you as an actor, Joe, not as a director. So how did you start getting into that?
Yeah. So really, what it came just down to is like I was kind of wanted to write my own story. So I did make my own film. Wrote, produced, directed, all that stuff. Was a very small crew, just me and 3 other people. And then 1 other cast member, put that all together and actually got into the Valkyrie Film Festival. And I did like 2 other like short 5-minute things just to prove to myself that I could do more. But then I was like, okay, well, I now actually have to work with like a full crew. And then Gino comes along and he's like, I got a script. I'm like, all right, let's do this.
Wow. Yeah, you know what? I ran into JP yesterday, actually.
Oh, cool.
And I was like, Gino and Joe are coming on the podcast to talk about the movie. And first thing he told me was about all of the fake blunts he had to smoke. He was very excited about that. He was like, yeah, I was outside, and the other person was smoking a cigarette, and I had these fake joints, and I had to smoke like 7 of them, and they had 15 pre-rolled, which I that's one of those small things that I kind of love about like movie making. It's like we got to have 15 like fake joints that we might not even use all of them, but we just have to have them. I like that. That stuff is cool. But the point is, one of the big thing he said to me was, though, that like you guys put together a great group to do this project, and that I think you in particular, Gino, that's your superpower. And I think even from like, I mean, I've only known you for like a year, but that's something that you really, really are excellent at, and it makes all the difference when you're working on a project like this.
Yeah, especially when I'm exploiting my friends for free labor, it's nice to be likable. But no, I picked and chose everybody on that project. I know these are all people that I loved working with and respect and seen their work that they've done, and I really thought they could add something to the project. And being likable and just being nice and generally caring about people, also feeding them very well, people are ready to work.
Oh yeah, that's big.
We had some great crafty.
That's huge. That makes all the difference. What are we talking? This is the real question, and people are listening.
Well, I'm
If
telling
they
you.
want to work on your sets, you better have. What do you got?
Shout out to the Soup Lady on Oliver Street, right up the street from here.
Mhm.
If you ever pass by it.
I've driven past.
Sure,
it.
I have. I don't know.
Well, she has really, really great soups, but also she makes these cheeseburgers and all this other like diner food, but it doesn't feel like a diner. It just feels like your aunt cooking you food at your house, right? And no, she made really, really fantastic food for us. She gave us all just great, and you came through with cakes, and Amelia had some cakes she brought for us. Yeah, if you can't pay him in food.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up, man.
That's how I actually take all my payment. Yeah, when that's why I come to this
Yeah.
show.
No.
That's why.
Matthew gets paid in chicken selects.
Yeah, preferably.
Which they do not make anymore for McDonald's, so it's really, really
That's
difficult to
impressive.
find.
So I'm gonna be retiring a little bit
Yeah,
earlier.
probably pretty
Than
soon.
most.
Contract once a contract
most.
goes up. What was the other question? So let's talk more about like the parameters of this thing. So, it's a short, right?
Correct. Right now we're about 14 minutes.
Okay, cool. And so, Joe, when obviously you and Gino like know each other, Gino comes to you and he hands you the script. When you're looking through it, are you thinking of things that you want to change to better fit your vision?
No, not really. I would say like Gino kind of came to me with a very clear vision, which is what made it easier to like sign on to this. Because if he came and was like, "Oh yeah, I have this general idea, I have some lines," like I probably would have been more hesitant about it. But it was really thought out, and he had like a clear vision for it, so it made it a lot easier to visualize how it would come together as a film.
So creatively, when you're working on something as a director, as opposed to a performer, what are you doing to fulfill yourself creatively during that process?
I mean, like, the director really kind of brings the story to life visually. So it's making sure we have the right actors, making sure that we have like the right settings, and then working with our director of photography, in this case Natalia, and communicating, okay, how we're going to shoot this to convey, again, the story that has been written down and make sure that the audience understands what we're going for.
Yeah, that's great. And Natalia, you guys worked with her before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Natalia Coiro, she's our DP. She's amazing. She went to school in Florida. She's from Australia? No, South Africa. She's going to yell at me. Really, really great. Great with the camera. Knows so much things. She's already forgotten everything that I'll ever learn. So she's just really great to have on a set. And she does so many different things. She wants to specialize in cinematography, but she could be a first AD. She could be a sound person. She could be a grip. She's so versatile on set. Just an amazing person to work with. But also, not to undersell Jo, she didn't just direct this. We collaborated basically on every single step. She helped me edit the script. She added lines. We changed lines. We argued over literally one word once for like an hour. But yeah,
that's a real deal.
No, every step of the way. Her and I collaborated on this thing. So it's definitely our picture. It's our baby. So
That's really cool, especially because. Oh, I'm gonna lower your mic a little bit, Gino, if that's all right. Actually, the people need to see you. I feel like this is something that I don't think you would have either way. But I feel like if you're writing a script and you got to hand it off to someone, it might be a little strange, because you're like letting it go and then you don't know what they're going to do with it. This is obviously different, though, because you guys were in this together so much is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote this thing not even expecting it to be made. I think Valkyrie Film Fest was going on at the time, and I was like, I could write something. And I went to a diner at 3 a.m, as one does, and I sat down there for about an hour and a half, and I wrote 5 pages, just sitting at a diner. This movie's based in a diner. I just wrote what was around me and a dumb idea that I had. Next day or two, I see Jo at the festival and say, hey, I wrote something. I want to know what you think about it because I think I'm onto something. She says, hey, this is pretty good. It's similar to something that she wanted to do. That's one of the reasons why she was interested in it. And I fleshed out the story more. I made 2 or 3 different more drafts. I talked to her about it. And we just started moving in production. Because this is something that I'm not precious over. First thing I really ever written. I want as much collaboration, input, and notes as possible. It takes a village to build these things. And even if you are a super hard director or Quentin Tarantino type or anything like that, you are forced to have your art filtered by 15 different people. If I have a vision for this script, the director's going to have a vision. They're going to communicate that vision to the director of photography. Director of photography is going to communicate that to the lighting person, and all the way down. Everybody has their own interpretation of this thing, so you have no choice but to hand your baby off. As long as you know what you're getting into, I think that's how you succeed.
Oh, hell yeah, man. That's what it's all about. And as far as... this is another directing question, Joe. But blocking-wise, blocking for film seems so complicated to me and, like, very intimidating. Do you... Especially... I mean, I don't know if you guys, like, had... already like the diner locked in for where you were going to shoot when you were thinking about these things, or if you just like went up there. I mean, what do? You draw a diagram, or do you like just move the actors around like chess pieces? I mean, well, how does it work?
All of the above.
Obviously, I know what blocking is, but just in case there's anybody listening that doesn't know what blocking is, you want to talk a little bit about what blocking is?
We build a diagram of the set using Legos.
Okay.
That's what blocking is.
I like that.
It's blocks.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
No, blocking is kind of where you tell the actors where they're going to go from one position to another, setting them in their starting positions and their ending positions of sorts. Yeah, so we had a different diner in mind at first that had a lot more space, but then we saw this one and was like, okay, well, we have to figure out where we're putting the camera, and then where can we fit the people with that, and then changing our angles based of where we can fit these items, the camera, the sound, the light.
And people, there's a point where I was in the bathroom for like 20 minutes. So, like, no, because we have these little transmitters that are connected to the camera, and they're very short range. You can't sit in your car with it. They're like maybe a 30-foot range. So I could see what the camera's looking at while we were filming and stuff. But because we have a long shot and it's tracking, we can't have any actors or performers running around, and I have to be relatively close. They locked me in the bathroom so I wouldn't bother anyone, so I could just look at my screen and yell through the bathroom, okay, good.
I mean, if you want to know what it's like being a writer, I feel like that sums it up pretty much perfectly. Like, yeah, man, come check it out. We're gonna have you over here, and then that'll be where you are.
Yeah.
But to more clearly answer your question, I did sit down with our DP Natalia to kind of go through the diagram of the venue, because we did go check it out prior to filming, and like had drawn it out, and she has like this like visual thing on her tablet. But once you get there and you like actually set up the shot and see what you're working with, then you have to make adjustments again once you have the actors in place and once you have the lights in place. So I think that's kind of different from a stage, because the stage doesn't change.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's so interesting, like, hearing the behind-the-scenes aspect of it, because, you know, someone who doesn't really have much of a film or acting background, again, I did know what blocking was. I just wanted to make sure everybody else did. But it's awesome to hear how the behind-the-scenes works and everything that goes into making a project, and, like, the passion that you all are putting into it. Because, again, outside of a Zolly Zoom, that's really the extent of my knowledge when it comes to the film industry, and I think that's a little bit outdated.
No way, brother. The Zolly lives on. We're
Yeah.
keeping it alive here for sure. This whole podcast will be Zolly Zoom, by the way. Every angle of it.
All right, perfect. But going back to locations, we actually had to go through, we cycled through 3 different locations. I got recommended to one location from a big director over here. He said he's worked with them before. So I go over there, I talk to him, I showed him the script. I have to walk them through the script. They don't want any, like, disparaging stuff on their location. They don't want to make it look bad. It's free advertising, but they also don't want it to be controversial. So walk them through the script, do all this stuff. I ended up, okay, we agree for this much money. Since it's a diner, we're getting food from them. We're going to buy food from them. And then I had a contract. I gave them a deposit. We're good to go. Start filming, start production. 3 weeks later, as we're getting into production, for no reason at all, this guy calls me up and says, hey, we don't want to do it no more. Why? I didn't ask questions. I took my money back. I ripped up my contract, went on a hunt to find another location. We actually put the production on pause. We were supposed to film 3 weeks earlier, but no location, no movie. Reached out to another diner. They said, yeah, this sounds really great. We worked all the time. We had Guy Fieri come here 3 years ago. Love him. Right? Yeah, I'm not doing that, but great. So I pass it on to the manager. Manager loves the script. She got to pass it to the owner. Owner says he loves the script too, but they said they wanted more money without saying they wanted more money. They both came to me. They sat me down at the little bar. I have my paperwork, all this stuff. It just seems like a lot, is what they said. You're asking a lot from us. I mean, days off, you're not even open those days. I just need one person here to make sure we don't break anything. They basically were saying they wanted more money from me.
Right.
Yeah.
A little read between the lines type of thing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I would have if they just were clear about it, but the being coy about it is just
Oh,
because
yeah, you don't want to mess with that. Because they might, I mean, if they're doing it right now before you guys have even gotten started,
Yeah.
who knows what'll be going on.
And then I finally found this place up on Oliver Street. It's a soup lady. I used to go there all the time. Whenever I'm in Tonawanda, I try to stop by there. Lady's fantastic. It's a very tiny building. It's very, very tiny. But it's a beautiful set. We did almost no set direction at all, decoration. It's very kitschy. It's very middle of America kind of diner place. And I think it's very beautiful. All the shots, especially because it's all in a diner. And you're staring at this diner for 15 minutes. Every shot feels interesting from how much shit's on the walls, from the angles that we got. I'm very happy with our location. Yeah.
That's excellent.
And where does that knowledge kind of come from with this being one of your first kind of projects like this? Joe, I know you said that you've done some other stuff in the past, but again, to me, like, I wouldn't even begin to know where to start in terms of reaching out to a specific location and drawing up a contract and stuff like that. Is that stuff that's been passed to you through mentors, or were you kind of learning on the fly in that sense?
Learning on the fly, but it's also linear progress from what I do in my daily life. I own a construction company, so a lot of what I do is literally just reaching out to potential clients, talking to people, walking them through what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, how long it's going to take. So I felt like that was lateral
For sure.
move, I guess that word would be. So just letting people know what they're getting into. I'm offering you this for this. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And then I just kind of stole a location contract off of Google, changed the name, and that's what we used.
How long was your guys' actual shooting schedule?
We shot for 3 days. It was 12-hour days. What was it?
8 hours.
8 hours? No, it was 14, wasn't it?
You think it was longer?
Was it longer?
It was from sundown to 2 a.m.
Yeah, 4 p.m. Yeah, call time. That's why it was 4 to 2 p.m. 10 hours.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's pretty.
It's long. It's long. Stop in the middle, get lunch. We had a couple of PAs running around in case anyone needed anything. I always brought snacks and other bullshit gummies. You need to have like little fruit snacks on sets.
It's just a tradition.
God, I love that stuff. Yeah. So, is it kind of a situation where, like, if there's a lot of people coming at you with a lot of different stuff, it's like, let's, how do you deal with that, I guess, is my question.
Give me my fruit snacks first.
Yeah, give me my fruit snacks, and then we'll talk. Can worry about wardrobe later.
I guess from, like, the director's standpoint, a lot of it is in the pre-production, really. Like, I made a point of talking with the actors, making sure that they understood the characters, that if they had any questions prior to filming, they were already answered. When we were already on set, we can just get right to shooting. Working with my DP, and then, like, anything that my DP needed from lighting. Oops, sorry about that. I think
don't
she.
have to get so intense.
It's the Italian in me. She conveyed it to them. So, and now I got distracted. What was the question?
What's the question, Matthew?
Oh, come on, you're asking the wrong guy.
How do you deal with everything all at once?
Yeah, I mean, when I think of, like, a movie director's job, I think of everyone from every department coming to them and being like, I have this problem or this decision needs to be made immediately. Like, blah, like people just throwing shit at you.
So it's kind of what Gino said earlier. It's collaborative. So we have an AD to yell at people and make sure that the director, stay on time.
Oh, that's the AD's job. Okay.
AD does like all the crew stuff, and if any crew has questions about anything, it goes to the AD, and if it's important enough, it goes to the actual director. But generally speaking, the AD gets to yell at everyone to tell them to do their job and shut up.
Including the
Yeah, I like
director.
that role.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so you don't have to answer this question, but would you say, and maybe not even just particularly like this time around, whatever, but generally speaking, which relationship could you say is more important, director and AD or director and DP, cinematographer? Director.
No, I got that.
Okay.
That's a good question. Honestly, I like to have like a good like communication with both. Creatively, the director and DP are gonna go off the rails, so we need an AD that can kind of bring them back. Make sure that we stay in schedule and all that.
Yeah, they're the ones watching the not set list, shot list, making sure we're on time. Hey, we got like 3 hours to get these 3 shots done. Are we ahead of time? Are we close time? What are we moving on? There's a saying in film is that it's a rule of 90%. This is something I've seen before. Some famous director said this. The only thing stopping you from that extra 10%, you get 90% of what you want. That extra 10% is just going to take time. How much time is it going to talk to you? How much time is it worth you to talk to your actors to make sure you're getting the performance you want? How much time is it going to take to move this light 3 inches to reset to make it that much better? Is it worth that extra 10% for you on time? If you already got your 90% and you're kind of low on time, just move on.
Spring is a springin', all right? And you don't want to spend your time doing menial tasks and things like that. You want to be out there, okay, experiencing the nice weather and friendships and all this stuff, okay? You have so much on your to-do list. Why add more to it? Like, going to the grocery store and things like that. Well, the good news is you don't have to worry about that. You can take that right off the list because you can use Instacart. But listen to this, because a lot of people don't realize that you can use Instacart for more than groceries. You can also get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your front door in as little as 1 hour, I might add. And that sounds great. But it's not even the best part, because the best part is that right now, 2 in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $10 or more. All you have to do to get that deal is hit the link in this episode description. Start making things a little easier on yourself this spring, okay? Spring cleaning, fix everything up. Work smarter, use Instacart today. Folks, if you're looking for a little bit of a change up to your wardrobe this spring, okay, so got some good news for you. You can check out all the great merch that we have got over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. Link's going to be in the episode description, of course. But we've got all kinds of things, not just clothes. We've got fanny packs and baseball hats and slides. The slides. I got to get a new pair of slides, not that the weather's getting warmer, because these slides are really fucking nice. And we only ordered 1 pair, and then Matthew stole it, but that's not the point, okay? You can order as many pairs as you want. Matthew will not steal them from you. That's an absolute guarantee. But we've also got pint glasses and all kinds of really good stuff on there. And this is not like, low-quality, cheap stuff. Like sometimes you order a shirt from an organization or even a podcast or something that you're really into, and then you get it. We all know it's that Gildan brand, and it fits like a frickin' cardboard box, and it shrinks in the wash, and it feels disgusting. You can't even wear it. I mean, you can't even... it drives me nuts. Okay, so not with our stuff, okay? This is top quality stuff, especially T-shirts. Tri-blend material, whatever, no big deal. But don't take my word for it. Go and check it out all for yourself over at snackspot.se/creator/teespring.com. And if you're interested in advertising on this show, you can email us at snackspotsports@gmail.com for details on how you can start reaching tens of thousands of listeners in the Buffalo area and beyond. The podcasting space is a very exciting one because it's really the first thing, this first new media sort of format that is now right up there with television, streaming, and I guess newspapers or something. But it's the first kind of new piece of media that's really holding its own against the traditional media that we have known. And it's cool to see the size of podcasts growing. And it says a lot when you look at companies like McDonald's and State Farm and stuff who are all advertising on podcasts now. It's a huge deal because obviously those guys have ads on the Super Bowl and things like that. It says a lot about what podcasting brings to the table. The problem is there hasn't really been any room for smaller or even local businesses to get in on that, to understand all the benefits to podcast advertising. But if you're interested in learning more about all of that, again, hit us up, reach out to us at snackspotsports@gmail.com. Joe, I really want to know your... I wish there was a more interesting way to ask this, but I'm so curious about your film influences. Like, movies you watched growing up, movies you've watched now. They're like, okay, I like things from this, and I want to kind of take things from it and work in my own way.
Growing up, I love to read books.
Now that's the answer. That's a great answer. Okay.
So I guess you could say I live a lot in my imagination. I actually am like the worst person to ask about any pop cultural references, and my friends kind of educate me in the films that I need to know. So I can't say I have like a great answer for that particular question, in the sense that I don't necessarily look at films. I'm like, oh, wow. I think since I started acting, I started watching films for more of a technical lens. I'm like, oh, that's really interesting how they did those transitions. I guess I should add here that I also edited this film, which then brings in like more of the creativity of like, ooh, how am I going to put all this together? Like, we got these shots now, like, let's actually compose it into the final product. And it's really interesting watching films from that perspective of like, oh, like I wonder how they directed this particular scene. Like, so that's more interesting to me. I'm not necessarily looking at any particular visuals when I watch a film, more of like the technical parts of them.
That seems like such a unique perspective that could benefit you so much. I mean, watching Joe work, do you think you could tell that you, Joe, have like more of a visual imagination from like a literary world as opposed to like people you've worked with who are like very film oriented?
Yeah. So, but also that's a common theme too. A lot of directors I work with are not cinephiles.
Wow.
They're media people. They love all types of entertainment or media or storytelling. One of the first people I've ever worked with, the lady who got me into film, her name's Akira. She grew up in a really, really religious household, and she wasn't allowed to consume any type of media on TV. And now she's a filmmaker, and she writes scripts, and she does all this amazing stuff, but coming from basically nothing. And if I told her, hey, you ever seen this movie, you ever did this movie, you ever seen this, you ever heard that, don't know nothing. And I find that's because it's people like that, I believe, are more creative when it comes to the medium of film, because they don't know what film is. They don't know what's possible or what can't be done or what's common. You know, if you've seen Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction, you know what two guys in a car looks like talking, right? If you've never seen that movie before, you're going to be creative, you know. Right. What's that line from Wanted? If no one ever told you how a bullet shot, how would it move? You ever seen that movie Wanted?
No, but I do know it, of course. Obviously, it's the one where Angelina Jolie curves a bullet.
I actually have seen that film.
Oh, really? Early McAvoy. Very early McAvoy, that one. My other question for you, Gino, is because, you know, as much as you work, you have only been acting for like a couple of years. So with your pre-existing love of movies, have you rewatched a movie now like The Matrix or something? Have you picked up on certain things that you don't think you would have noticed if you hadn't started on the journey that you're still going on?
I don't think you want to pick up acting notes from Keanu Reeves. I love the guy. Is he an amazing actor?
John
no,
Wick.
he's very
But
entertaining.
it's like,
Four of them.
Well, I'm saying Ted Theodore Logan from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. Because
Okay, that's probably like his best one, honestly.
I don't know. I've never seen Point Break, but I hear that that's a great movie. So I don't know. Have you seen? You've seen it, of course.
I know I've seen parts of it.
Okay. I've only seen the part where he's like screaming.
Yeah, that's where
the gun in the air.
He's just so frustrated.
That's
He had to shoot in the
acting.
air.
That's acting.
It's incredibly dangerous. He's lucky he didn't lose his job.
Well, we should probably do the old who would win if you.
Well,
wouldn't say
yeah,
anything.
I wanted to talk a little bit
Okay,
more about
please.
the project. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Andrew, I know you have a little bit more behind the scenes details, but for, you know, everybody listening too, like, are you able to, you know, we know it takes place in a diner, right? Because we've talked about how the, you know, setting it up and everything like that, and the process that wins that. But are you able to, you know, tease the project itself a little bit more without giving too much away?
Yeah, absolutely. I like to sell it as it's basically an episode of The Twilight Zone. This person walks into a diner coming from a place of grief, And as she sits into this diner, she starts interacting with the other patrons in the diner. Like one guy's having an argument on the phone, chef's having a really bad day, he's cursing in the kitchen, and she's just kind of absorbing the people around her. And because, in my opinion of grief, is you want to reach out to other people when you're feeling that way, she sees these people having a hard time, and she wants to reach out to them and connect to them. And then some weird, spooky shit starts happening in the diner, and we move on from there.
So what's the? I mean, I know you guys are gonna, send it to some festivals or whatever. But is that what's that one you guys kept bringing up? The
Valkyrie Film Festival. It is a film festival started locally here by Kayleen and Tamar Lamberson. It's a it is a film festival designed specifically to highlight female talent. So I mean, Joe could probably tell you a lot more about it than I can.
Is that like the plan though? Right now, it's like that's what we're gonna premiere it. Or do you guys have any ideas about that?
Yeah. So we have it sent out right now to the film festivals now, a couple of them. We got some placeholder edits in there now, but we have some time to go through them and actually finish and clean them up. We just wanted to make sure we submitted so we still have our place. Yeah. But I'm very confident in how it's coming out, and somebody hates us if we don't get in, is how I say it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Another question. So when you're working on something like this, and you have like a little bit of a limited budget, what do you do when it comes time for music? Like, how do you find music? I mean, obviously music is so important, but it's also really expensive a lot of the time. So what's a solution to that? Like, what do you do?
Exploit your composer friends. Thank you, Jeremy. I love you.
Shout out to Jeremy.
Jeremy Shields. He is a composer for a couple of rock bands. He's a fantastic drummer. He's been in a bunch of different bands, and I met him through a friend of mine, and he wanted to get into composing films. Coincidence. Hey, I need a film composer. And he's working on it right as we speak. He should have some edits of the score for us by the end of the week, if not early next week. Me and Joe will talk about it. We'll have some edits and notes for him, and hopefully move it from there. But I've heard some stuff that he's made. I'm pretty happy with it. I'm not in love with it, but we'll see how it goes.
And what's the title of this flick, by the way?
So there's two of them. We conflict on which one we want.
So it hasn't been decided yet.
We could just use both, probably.
We've been using both.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, as I mentioned, it's heavily inspired by The Twilight Zone. The name of the series that I invented is Beyond the Realm of Reality. The episode is Please Seat Yourself.
That's a good title.
Yeah.
So the plan is to do more of these then?
I mean, it's just, might as well. I kind of thought, well, if I have another idea that might fit into like this Twilight Zone type world, I could just throw that back in there.
Because is this the first project that you've done for Insomnia?
Yes. Zombia. It's like a zombie that
Emily,
can't
hit
sleep.
the Zoom button.
It's like a zombie that can't sleep. Zombia. I've been using that name since I was a teenager on my Xbox Live handle.
I would like a list of every company or some professional moniker that has come from someone's Xbox name, because I feel like that is something. I mean, in 2009, when we were signing up for these things, we had no idea, I feel.
I think there's a lot of people out there that don't want it known what their Xbox name was.
Some of them are bad.
Yeah.
Some of them are not great.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. Should we do this?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. The who would win of the week this week is Lola Bunny versus Jessie the Cowgirl from Toy Story 2. Top-notch matchup, I would say. What, Matthew? Go ahead, please.
I'm putting you on the bonk list for this matchup.
This is a great matchup. You know something? We came up with a couple to throw out there. I thought this one was really good.
No, it's a great matchup.
Emily thought this one was really good. But what?
Bonk list for you.
You gotta give me an
Is that the
explanation
dog?
on the bonk.
That's the
Okay,
dog.
I got
yeah,
you.
that's
What's the bonk?
If you horny post, you get bonked.
yeah.
You think I'm horny for these people?
A lot of
yes.
people are.
Yeah,
It's
a little
okay.
bit, yes.
Do not put Rule 36 behind that. Or is it 34? I don't know.
No, it's 36.
Jamie, pull that up.
Okay, then disclaimer: this is not out of horniness. I don't think.
We'll see once we start talking, won't we?
Now I'm afraid.
No, speak openly.
I mean, Jesse could walk all over me.
Yeah. See?
Yeah, I'm sure you like her to rope you up.
Yeah. See? Double bunk.
Yeehaw, baby.
Yeah. And this is what you inspired. But listen, Jesse, I think to the scene, is it Toy Story 1 or 2?
She's not in 1.
Yeah, so it's 2 when they are in where the guy's painting his eyeball.
Yeah.
And they
Yeah,
break
cartoon.
out.
Yeah.
That's Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
I mean, she's rambunctious for sure.
She's the yodeling cowgirl.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Lola Bunny, I don't know how I feel about Lola Bunny. I think she hides a little bit behind, the rest of the pack.
What do you mean?
I don't know if she's quite as willing to, attack is not the right word, but Jessie being a cowgirl, she's not afraid to get her hands a little dirty. I don't know if I feel that way about Lola Bunny.
No, I would say Lola's definitely more reserved.
No, she's manipulative too. Didn't she try to seduce one of the Space Jam characters? With the Goon Squad? It's like she pretended to be flirtatious with one of them or something?
That sounds right. It's been a while since I watched that.
That just might be a fan film.
I feel like Jessie
Well,
does that.
Yeah, that might be that Rule 36 you were looking up, Gino.
I feel like Jessie does that as well, though. Like, I feel like Jessie can try to bat her eyeballs as well if she needs something.
Oh, for sure. I feel like she definitely. There's scenes where she gets Buzz Lightyear to do stuff for her
Yeah.
all the time. But I do think that Jessie is definitely a lot more likely to run headfirst into something without really a plan, whereas Lola, I think, would take a little step back first, have a little bit more of a wider perspective on this fight and go in. But Lola is very, very athletic, and Jessie, of course, is also.
Jessie's got that Jack Sparrow in her, though. Like, she doesn't need a plan until she needs a plan, and then she'll have one. You know what I mean? She wants to get in the... She's Leroy Jenkins. She wants to run into the
Took
room.
the words right out of my mouth.
She wants to run into the room, and then she'll figure it out.
Chances
Is
of
Jessie
survival.
doll size though? Like, we were talking about size
For
comparison
this
here.
fight, they're the same size.
Yeah,
Whether it's a
they're-
shrink ray situation or what, we don't know.
I
But
mean, in that case, then Jessie would just shoot somebody. She has
No
the
guns.
gun. She does that.
I don't think she has. She actually has guns.
She might do finger guns. She definitely has a rope.
She does have a
But
rope.
here's the thing. Again, back to your athleticism. And again, I'm not to stereotype rabbits, but bunnies are fast as hell.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jessie can herd up cattle, but can she throw a lasso around a bunny?
it's a whole different critter.
That I don't know.
Right.
Can she use the horse?
No bullseye. I'm saying no bullseye.
All right.
No bullseye the horse, especially because bullseye.
But it's a confined
He's
space, though. It's
yeah,
a confined space.
either way, no bullseye. I'm calling no bullseye.
Here's how the fight happens. They're in a bar,
Okay.
and Jessie catches Lola Bunny batting her eyelashes at
These
Woody.
These
Ready?
Jessie and Lola, they're not sluts. I know
I'm
people
not
like,
saying they're not. This is what I'm saying. The fight
that's what I'm
happens.
saying. Okay. Sorry. I just think
Jessie
there's
gets pissed.
There's more to these characters than their
Jessie gets
sexuality,
pissed.
and I want it to be clear that I feel that way.
I'm just teeing up a fight.
Mm-hmm.
Jessie gets pissed and goes over and confronts Lola about it.
Right.
Lola has a initially sassy remark, but that she doesn't think Jessie in her cowgirl outfit is smart enough to understand that it's a backhanded remark. Jessie's first instinct is reach across the bar, grab a bottle, smash it, and go for the neck. And I think that's going to put Lola Bunny on her heels instantly, which is where I think the speed and athleticism comes in, because I think she does a little jump, gets on the other side of the bar, and then they're each on one side of the bar, like doing that thing, like when they're like one takes a step one way
Yeah.
and then the other one takes a step the other way. So they're kind of going back and forth. But I do think ultimately Jessie, if it came to fisticuffs, would beat the shit out of Lola Bunny, because Lola Bunny would definitely get her licks in. But I think Jessie can take a punch. I don't know that Lola Bunny can eat a punch like that.
I'm on your side. I was on Jessie to begin with this, but she got the rope, she got the rambunctiousness, she got the desire to just whip someone's ass. I think I'm on your side. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with all that.
God damn it, man.
I mean, listen.
You just make such good arguments.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This stuff. This is
what it's all
I
about.
mean, is Lola gonna
Yeah.
do like some Looney Tunes shit and pull like I don't know,
a piano
on Jesse's head or
Can a
something?
piano fall? No, you know what? If Jesse doesn't have the horse, no pianos.
Fair enough. And you know, I do think maybe in a desperate moment Lola would do something like that, but I think she's definitely like the least cartoony of the zany, I guess, of the Looney Tunes. Like that seems like, you know, I feel like if you're fighting Bugs, Daffy, Fudd, whoever, like one of their first step is going to be like anvil drop, but Lola is not really like that. You did bring up a good point with the bar fight though about Lola potentially, I think, underestimating Jessie a little bit, which could also lead to her downfall. What?
One thing I'll say in defense of Lola that we did not discuss is Jessie is very equipped to living in like cartoon sets. So one Looney Tunes trick that may work well here is fake door on the wall.
Fake door on
Fake
the
door on the
wall.
wall, because Lola's athleticism, she can cut on a dime. She's full speed, hard left. Jessie's gonna slide in those cowboy boots straight into the wall, scorpion style. She got spurs on. She stabs herself with her own spurs.
Seen it before.
But
Could
I'm
happen
still
to
going to
anybody.
take Jessie, noting that if there is a fake door painted on the wall, that could be a big downfall for her.
What really sells it for Jessie for me, and I know it sounds like we're all picking Jessie, which is cool, but what really sells it for me is that she seems like she will never give up. Like once they start throwing hands, I mean, you're going to have to completely take her out if you want to stop her.
You'll have to throw her in a furnace for her to give up. That's a Toy Story 3
Toy Story
joke.
3 reference, shout out to it.
How many times did you cry during Toy Story 3?
I think just that one time. Well, yeah, at the end maybe a little, but I think just at the garbage part.
Yeah, the garbage disposal part. I think her and Woody broke up or something. I don't know. I'm a very sensitive boy. Toy Story makes me cry. Toy Story 4, I cried in a movie theater like a child.
Dude,
Which one's 4? Was Sporky?
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 was
Sporky.
I like Sporky.
Yeah, Sporky is the man.
But Woody walking off with Bo Peep, it's like it's the end of an era.
I know. And then they're making a fucking 5th one.
Yeah, that's
which
the end
drives
of
me crazy.
my childhood. Just ended. I think it came out in when the first one came out in 96.
Yeah.
96. So yeah, I was 4, and then pretty much my whole life I knew these characters, and now they're gone. Sad.
But they're back.
They'll
Literally
be back.
until
Yeah.
Tim Allen dies. Could be any moment. Well, we'll lock it all in for Jessie then. It
Around
sounds
the
like.
table?
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to Jessie. Vote on that on Instagram on Friday. Who would win the week? Jessie from Toy Story versus Bugs Bunny. No, Lola Bunny.
Yeah, there
That's
we go.
on me.
There we go.
Yeah.
Can we get a yeehaw in the chat?
Okay. Wish I'd take my headphones off for that one. That's okay.
I could have gone louder.
Yeah, I know. Well, before we get you guys out of here, what else do you have to plug? Anything else going on?
Do you have anything? She got a lot. She always got stuff.
Come on, we know you got stuff.
No, if you're keeping it under your hat, that's cool.
Don't tell us.
I'm just trying to think of things that I actually could plug. Oh, I am working on producing a YouTube channel. We are in pre-production for it, but it's pretty cool. It's going to be about a person's experience in working in reality TV, so some behind-the-scenes stuff about reality TV shows.
Interesting.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know about that.
It's new.
Oh, sweet. I'm doing a movie now. Well, not now. Beginning next month. It's called Gino to Genie. A friend of mine wrote it for me last year. He literally just put me in the movie. And yeah, it should be a lot of fun. We have a lot of people involved. A lot of the same people in my film that we produced are involved with that as well. I'm doing Shakespeare in the Park later this year.
Nice.
Oh yes, which one are you in? King
Richard the Third.
I am so excited for that one because John is in that one too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna be great.
Yeah, we're going to be on stage again. A couple other people too that I know. That cast is huge. I got a version of what the director sent because they're never going to show you the whole play. It's a 4-hour long play. They got to condense it to an hour and a half.
Shit.
Really? Yeah. So they cut out like most of the play.
That seems weird.
Well, I mean, nobody wants to sit in a park for 4 hours,
I guess that's true.
right? So they take this 4-hour long play, make it 90 pages. The version that I've read has like 20 something characters in it, And yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun. I'm very excited for it. It's a challenge for me, and it was a bar for me in my career to do this. It's funny to even say it, call it a career. If I could do Shakespeare, I feel like I've made it as an actor. Like, hey, that guy actually knows what he's doing, kind of thing.
It is interesting. What do you think about that, Joe? Because it does feel, even people who aren't actors, I think, have this sense that, like, Shakespeare is the be-all, end-all.
I think it's definitely something you can point at and like everyone can relate to. They're like, "Oh wow, you did Shakespeare. Yeah, that's difficult. You're an actor."
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. But it's so strange. I don't know. I mean, I haven't read a lot of Shakespeare. I
Me
like,
neither.
some of that stuff. But it's just so strange when to put, like, there's such an emphasis on that, though. You know what I mean?
If you can hit it to be or not to be on stage, that's when you know you've officially succeeded.
I mean, that is the question.
Is it better to suffer? Was it better to suffer to a sling of arrows?
Arrows of outrageous fortune or two, and then that's when you
Yeah, that's
cut me
where I
off,
came
so
up
that's
with.
all I have.
I showed somebody that. Did you see the video yet?
Of that show?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, you never
I
got the
didn't
thumb
know.
drive?
No.
I'll send you a YouTube link. I got to post it on my YouTube.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I was just showing a friend of mine a couple days ago. They didn't know that was coming out, and they thought it was really funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had no
Is
idea.
that the one I saw?
Yeah.
Fantastic show.
That was 1 year ago. We wrapped yesterday.
just
1 year
thinking
ago.
that,
Yeah,
dude.
closed.
Wow.
That's nuts. That was a fun
So that's
time.
like 2 years the last time I was on stage with you.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that show a lot because Lainey's in the new one that I'm doing, and I haven't seen her since then either. So I'm like, wow. Well, I think that's it, guys.
Oh, I plug one more
Please.
thing.
Yeah.
I've recently written something. I'm producing it, and I'm planning on directing it. Someone's gonna have to fight me to take that away from me. But I'm trying to crew up for it now. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm basically ripping off Tarantino in every single way I can.
You're not the first, buddy.
Yeah.
You know that.
And it should just be a lot of fun. Mainly, I'm very excited about doing this one thing because a lot of it's shot in a car. I have to rent the trailer, put it on top of a car. I'm going to film from outside the car looking in while the car's in a trailer. So that's going to be exciting.
No way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like Stuntman. What's that movie called?
Hot Rod?
No.
No, Stuntman. That's Stuntman. Fall Guy.
Fall Guy. You know that scene where then he handcuffs him in the car? I don't know.
I
Spoiler alert
only
if you've never
watched,
seen the movie.
like,
Really?
the only part I remember of that movie is when he gets on the plane and he puts that Post-it note on his seat that says "Wake me up for meals" or whatever in first class.
That's
the part of that
That's
movie
the
that
only
stood out.
part you.
I don't even remember that
That
part.
just stood out to me so much.
Like I kind of remember that next time I fly.
Kind of, yeah. I'm like, it's just like such a quick way. Like, okay, this guy, like, this is what this guy's life is like all the time. You know what I mean?
But there's a scene at the end of the movie when they catch the bad guy and they're filming a scene.
Honestly, I'm sorry, but when you started talking, I was like, the Post-it note comes back. Like, I was like, that's what I thought you were gonna say. I was sorry.
No, that's it. Yep, I'm good.
Well, thank you guys so much for being here. It was a blast to see you guys and talk to you again. So,
Yeah, it was awesome to meet you both, officially, and thanks for coming on. And if there's ever any stuff that you're all working on, please come back on. We love to talk about it.
and when is that film festival? When is the Valkyrie? Do we know?
Late May. No, yeah, because it goes to June 1st,
Siri,
right?
go Gadget. Valkyrie.
Last weekend of May to like June 2nd.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, because Kayleen, who's in charge of is in college out of town, so they had to wait for her schedule.
Dang,
It
cool.
works.
All right, well, again, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a lot of fun.
Emily, hit the Zoom.
There we go.
Andy, I love you.
Love you too. Let's get out of here. Thanks, folks.